Hey yo, I'm Colby from Sanitarium Productions. We're back again today with another G.I. Joe toy review for you. Today we're taking a look at the 25th anniversary release of Snake Eyes. This is the commando version with the knives on him, and so this was the update of the 1987 or 88 version of Snake Eyes, and I apologize, I don't remember exactly, but it's basically the all black and silver version of Snake Eyes with the two knives on his chest. So this was a really cool figure back in the day, so I'm excited to kind of see what the new updated version looks like. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to go ahead and dive into this figure, unbox it, and review it for you. So stick with us. Here we have the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes figure. It's a really cool figure. It's the commando version. This came out in 2007, if I remember correctly. So you see the card back here. This is based on the 1989 version of Snake Eyes, I do believe. Anyways, it's a really cool looking set, and we're just going to go ahead and unbox this thing real quick. The traditional bubble card. This one has the foil on the G.I. Joe logo, which is kind of cool. You can see that a little bit there. But yeah, this is a really awesome figure. The original from the vintage line was one of my all-time favorite figures. So yeah, I really like seeing a new version of this one. So I'm anxious to get it open. So anyways, I got my X-Acto knife here, and we're just going to cut the bubble and slice around it if I can get it started. And I am trying out a new camera here, so I don't know how well the settings are on this thing. But I'm going to try to hopefully use this camera instead for this close-up stuff so that we can get a little bit better autofocus. So hopefully it'll make a difference when we actually get down to the actual figure, so we don't have the weird autofocus problem we've had in a couple of other ones. But anyways, pop the figure out. And now this is all just regular recycling stuff. You can, of course, clip out the file card if y'all collect those things and all, but I'm not too worried about it. But here's what we get in the box itself. The figure, he's got his little nunchuck stuff here in a little separate packaging piece. And we'll go ahead and get these things off of here. They do have the accessories kind of taped down a little bit, but we'll just go ahead and start here. He's got his regular backpack. See if I can zoom in a little bit here. That might work. So, backpack. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife again for this tape. Really cool sword. His cool looking Uzi. And we'll go ahead and pull the figure out. Very nice looking. And the figure stand here, codename Snake Eyes. That's all it's on here. Then we've got these nunchuck things over here. We'll pop them out and actually come out rather easily. And there we go. So there is one of these rubber bands holding part of his costume on, holding his knives in place to be more exact. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off real quick. Just pull the rubber band off of there. And there we go. This is everything that comes with this particular figure. Lots of cool stuff. We'll go ahead and zoom in just a little bit now, and as we have in past videos, go ahead and take a look at the individual figure and the accessories a little bit closer. Now that we're zoomed in a little bit, you can see it a little bit better. And again, this camera is new, so I don't have the settings all 100% right. So when I'm looking at this through the viewfinder, the colors are a little off on this thing. It's not quite as bright as I usually like in the rest of my videos. So yeah, we may end up not using this camera after all, but we're going ahead with this one anyways. So we'll just take a look at the accessories first. So again, we have the standard figure stand. It's got the G.I. Joe logo on the top and the code name on the side, so you know, nothing too special about this one, but it is kind of cool. For his really cool looking nunchucks, it's a 3-sectional piece, and it comes unassembled, so you do have to assemble it yourself. But all you got to do is just snap these pieces together. The middle bar has some grooves on it, so you can actually just slide these straight in like so, and they just snap together like that. Do that for both sides, and now you've got a 3-sectional nunchuck thing. I don't know what the actual name is, but it's a cool little accessory. You can do all sorts of really cool stuff with it. It does have a lot of really cool detail work on it. These little spikes are on the edge of it. You can see the grip, and it's actually a very cool accessory. So yeah, really cool looking. Set that to the side. Next we'll take a look at his Uzi. This thing is pretty cool. It's again fashioned after the one that came with the original vintage figure, and they did a really good job of replicating it. It's a really solid looking Uzi. It's got a lot of nice detail work in it. Overall, very nice. Then the backpack here, again, it's fashioned after the original, so it's got a lot of nice, really cool detail work. For the ninja part of it, it's got these climbing spikes on the back, place for some throwing stars, and some little spiky, daggery things, and a rope at the bottom, and some kind of blanket, I guess, at the top. And it also has a place for his sword to go into, so that's really cool looking. We'll try that out here in just a couple minutes. And then of course we have his really awesome looking sword. Very cool looking. It's got this really cool on the pommel of it, kind of like a dragon holding a spear, dragon claw kind of thing. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but it is pretty cool. It's a really nicely designed sword, and it's a little bit reminiscent of the movie sword as well. So it's slightly different than the original from the vintage line, but has the same aesthetic appeal anyways. And as we mentioned earlier, it does just slide in his backpack, and it fits really nicely in there. Very snug, very secure. So yeah, very cool looking. And now we have the figure itself, Snake Eyes. Again, like I said, I really like this figure in the vintage line, so I'm really excited about this one. We do have, get this light on above us here, maybe it'll help a little bit. Some really cool detail work going on in here. Again, he's got the 2 daggers on his chest here. Lots of cool stuff on his costume. Cool grenades on his sidearms, more on this side. Yeah, just overall it's a really nice looking sculpt. He does have this weird thing on his head for his night vision. goggle things, and as you can tell, this thing pops off pretty easily because I just knocked it off by just moving something. See if I can get it back on here. Yeah, okay. But yeah, this night vision goggle thing is kind of goofy. But the theory there works pretty well. I mean, it stays on his head, it moves up, it's kind of out of his way. And it does just pop out of the side of his head there, so you don't have to leave it on him. Then you just kind of pop it back in place and it stays put pretty well. But again, it's kind of weird looking. So I probably wouldn't be using it too much myself, but it's there anyways. Articulation wise, I'm going to go ahead and just pop this thing off for the time being anyways. The head does rotate 360 degrees up and down, so no problems there. Shoulder joints, traditional ball and swivel, so cool. And there goes the blades again. We'll come back to those. At his elbow, he has the traditional ball and swivel joint at the elbow. Then wrist articulation is just a swivel joint, so no extended articulation there, but that's okay. It still works really well. He does have the ab crunch feature here, and he's got quite a bit of play in it as well, so that's really nice. Works really smoothly. This particular one does look like it's a little bit off. The pattern on the front of his vest gear thing here looks like it's a little bit off as far as matching up, but with the knives in place you don't notice that whatsoever. He does have this really cool belt that's draped over his shoulder, which is kind of new to the sculpt itself, and it's a pretty nice little feature, pretty cool looking. On his belt he's got these the carabiner clips, which is pretty cool looking. Continuing on with articulation though, hip joints, same as we have come to expect, so no problem there. He's got a double knee joint and a swivel and rocker at the ankle, so really cool looking. And overall, yeah, this is a pretty awesome looking figure. Again, as I said before, I really like this figure from the original vintage line, and this particular iteration of it does not disappoint. It has all those same kind of aesthetic things that really made the first one really just pop for me, and they did a really good job of carrying that stuff forward and applying it here, so that's pretty awesome, and I appreciate that. It is a cool looking figure. Moving back over here to his little knives. There are two of them here, and they do interlock. There is this little peg on the back of one of them, and then the other one has just a single hole, peg hole in it, so you can put them back together. And then they just slide into this little peg hole on his chest, and that's how, that's how he is kind of carrying them around. The little peg hole is a little loose, so they have a tendency to fall out, but it still looks really awesome when they are actually in place. But the cool thing is that they are removable, so he can actually use them. Unlike the vintage figure, they were molded as part of the costume, so you couldn't actually use them for anything. They just look really cool, so it's really nice to see that they included those as removable accessories, so that's really cool. So looking at his little belt that he has on his shoulder, it actually has a hole in it here at the bottom, if you can see that, hopefully. Made especially for his Uzi to attach to. So he just, you pop it in there on that hook, and he can carry his Uzi with him. And that's pretty awesome. Then his backpack just pegs into the hole in his back. Again, these things fall off when you try to do this, but that's okay. So it slides into his back very easily. He's got access to his sword there. And we can reattach the two knives. Hopefully they'll stay put this time. Put his crazy night vision goggles back on his head. And he's got room to carry around his nunchucks. I think. Yes. They're kind of hard to fit in his hand. Simply because of the way his grip is. And again, I keep knocking that off, but let's try him in his left hand. If they work much better in the left hand. So no problem there whatsoever. His sword fits in his hand really easily, and it doesn't have the same problem that the nunchucks had. So you can grab a hold of it and go swinging after Storm Shadow or whoever else you're wanting to fight. And it is nice that it does fit back in the backpack there. As far as his Uzi, pop it off there, stick it in his hand, and the grip on it is a little bit large, so it does kind of have a problem fitting in his hand, but it does work, and it seems to work pretty well. It does look a little odd. His hands are slightly angled down, so it looks like he's kind of pointing down with his gun there. So it does make it look a little odd, but still it's not bad. It works. And if you prefer, you can have him hold the clip instead of the actual grip. That may alleviate some of those issues, but anyways. Yeah, so this is a pretty cool figure. Really nice detail work, a lot of really cool accessories. I am slightly disappointed in these knives in that they keep popping off and they won't stay in place. But once you get them in place, they do look really awesome. Then this crazy night vision goggles, they keep popping off as well. But there you go. Really cool looking figure. Really cool looking accessories. Yeah, pretty awesome. I'm really impressed with this figure. A few minor issues. Again, the swords on his chest and the headgear. But it doesn't really stop it from being a really awesome figure. So, yeah, I highly recommend this figure. It is pretty badass. That's our review for the G.I. Joe 25th Anniversary Snake Eyes Commando release. Overall, this is a really awesome sculpt. They did a great job in fully representing the old 1989 version of Snake Eyes here. Just really an outstanding job. A few minor hiccups. The headgear is kind of hit or miss and it falls off pretty easily. And the blades on his torso have a tendency to pop off pretty easily. But other than that, it's really an outstanding figure. So if you haven't picked it up already, go out there and track it down and pick it up. It's awesome. That's all the time we've got for today, so thanks for watching. Subscribe below if you'd like. Leave us some comments. And happy hunting until next time. Yo, Joe.